YouTube, I am back. This is the follow-up video. I bought the Suzuki LT80 and this for 500 bucks each. In the last video, I just sold the LT80 today for 900. I am digging into this one. You saw in the last video we had an air box full of oil. I got it all cleaned up. Look at this. It's like caramel. I don't know what that is. Shut this compressor off. No clue what that is, but it is, oh, look at that. It actually might just be dirt. It actually might just be dirt and oil mixed together. You can crumple it up into a ball like Play-Doh. That's weird. Never seen that before. We're gonna get this air box completely cleaned out, vacuumed out. I'd say it's ready to vacuum. Pulling the carb, just pulled the clamp, got that out. I've got to take that off to get the throttle cable. I'm assuming choke cable and fuel line. We do have gas in the carb, so you can see we've got the overflows are working. So let me get this out of here and we'll take a look at it on the bench. Well, here are all the tools I broke out to try to get this carb open. They had severely stripped out these heads, so I did what anybody would do. Took my little angle cutter and I cut a groove into them and used a flathead screwdriver. Let's see if we can see why this wasn't running. What the? Look at the inside of this carburetor. You gotta be joking, right? No way. I've never seen this before in my life. What does green mean? Holy smokes. Alright, so we've got some cleaning to do on this. Wow. Let's step out here in daylight and see if we can see through this jet. No, it's got a little dirt in there. That would be why she wasn't getting gas. I had to pry to get my needle out of that seat. It was almost glued in there with whatever this green sediment is. Look at this. I've never seen this before. I've never seen it this bad. It's all down inside there. Man, if that guy would have just took the time to clean the carb and get that thing starting, he could have posted it for 1,500. So I'd say we are 30% there. I will get to cleaning this and try to get it the best I can, get it back together. See what happens. Wish me luck. What an ordeal. Check this out. Let's get you out in the daylight. You can see I couldn't get all the color green out of here, but we can see through all of our jets. So I got them all blown out. This side here, this was filthy with like a black sediment. And I don't know what this does, honestly. So that goes in there with the plunger. I know it's vacuum operated, which this was pretty filthy. This had all kinds of stuff on it. I cleaned the needle. We're gonna throw it back together, put it in the quad, see if it runs. All right, got the clean carb back in, nice and clean. That throttle cable on these things, that is a crappy thing to hook up. Moment of truth, there's no gas in the carb because you don't just turn the gas on and it fills it up. So I don't know if we just have to turn it over a bunch to get it to fill the bowl or how this works, but Maddox is going to roll her over, see what it does. Oh, still not getting gas. We're not shooting oil. Yes, dude. Perfect. We got a runner. I'm gonna get that airbox cleaned out. I did top off the coolant. I went to the full line, let it suck it down. My petcock is leaking, so I need to order a new petcock, or at least take that one off and try to run a rubber seal in there. Biggest thing is it's not shooting oil in the airbox. So it was over full. That is so awesome. That makes my day. Sounds good. Try to start it again. It idles? No way. Try it again. That's gas coming from the petcock. All right, so idle needs to be turned up a little bit. Man, that is a nice $500 quad. What did I spend? Did I spend anything? Brake clean. Literally just cleaned the car with brake clean. And, I mean, the way that looked when we got it, look at it now. I didn't dip it. I literally did all that by hand. All right. Let me figure out what I want to do next, and then I will show you guys what we do. Hopefully we can ride this thing soon. Since I've managed to get it started, I feel the next step is to try to get this thing as clean as possible and reassemble it. I started power washing this thing. It was filthy. It's still not there yet, but if you look, you can look right here. The whole machine was covered in this greasy, like dirt cover. You can see in there on the swing arm where I can't get it. Just look at that coating. So right there on the back of the motor, down in there. Starter, I've power washed a little bit of it, but I mean just caked. This thing was neglected. Actually, I want to show you something. So I grabbed these SOS pads. You can see right here, this, I don't know if you can see, but just the yellow tint on these fenders. When I wash it with that, it cleans it back to new state. Look at that. There's a metal flake in the plastics, which is crazy. I just did this one. Look at the metal flake. So I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna go over this thing with a couple SOS pads, a bucket of soapy water, and just try to put my hands on whatever I can, make this thing look better. I'm gonna be here for a while, I think. I'm anxious to see if I can't maybe bring those wheels back a little bit, the plastics and the motor. Just how yellow that is. It all needs to just be touched and wiped down. I'm gonna give her a go, see what we got. Check it out. Look at the wheels most of all. They actually came clean pretty easy, and those bead locks are watertight. I cannot get all that water out of there. I'm gonna have to blow it off with my air nozzle. So I scrubbed those with SOS pads. side of the motor, you know, just rubbed it. Basically, you had to touch every square inch of this thing. I got in here to the suspension, blew all the grease off these so I can re-grease them all. It fired right up, so that's awesome. Well, it sits here and idles pretty good. I try to ride it. There's not enough fuel in the tank to actually ride it. I set it up with a funnel in my gas can last night, and I mean, it's been dripping all night, all day. I don't want to put gas in the tank because obviously it's just going to drip out. I did notice, oh, we still, all right, it might have been water, I don't know, but it was running and I had kind of a, I thought a coolant drip, but I'm not seeing coolant anywhere. Right now I'm just trying to be super cautious. We don't want to break anything. You know, as is right now, we can catch any issues and fix them while still having a running machine. But, I mean, everything looks good in here. I wonder if that head gasket's been done. Try to look at all the gaskets and see, you know, what's been done to this motor. But overall, I think it looks really nice. I mean, the hardware on the coil, the clutch, all that grease covered everything, you know, and now it actually looks like a pretty nice machine. I'm actually impressed with the $500 four-wheeler. It's turning out to be quite the nice quad. I do need to get a battery because that jump box is annoying. So we get the battery, we get all that rubber cleaned up and shiny, and all the plastics. I scrubbed this right here. I could not get that clean to save my life. So I guess I really need to just wait until tomorrow to get that petcock, get that tank off there, change that out. New air filter, get this thing together right and see what happens. Getting this oil change done, finally get to see how much oil is actually in the bike. This is what I'm using. I always use some sort of a supplement just because, you know, the more the oil sticks to the metal, the better. So I don't know. I've always wondered if this is compatible with wet clutches, but I usually just end up running Valvoline 1040. That's always done me right. Cam's gonna get these things off here. These oil changes, you gotta drain it here, you gotta drain it at the tank, and then obviously the oil filter. So I'm gonna do that. Hopefully we can see how much oil is actually in this bike. We already know there was at least 1.5 quarts in the air box. So it takes 2 1/4 quarts. I'm guessing that red empty, he added 2 1/4 quarts. So it was, you know, exactly twice the amount of oil that was supposed to be in it. Now we will check our oil levels. I don't see anything squirting out of here. I see residual from being inside the hose. You know, it's sitting in here. It's gonna blow that out for a while, but other than that, it's not squirting oil. We are good. I'm gonna continue to clean this thing up and put it back together. I ended up stealing a petcock off of another machine that you guys will see in the future. Clean the air box, that's all ready to go. Air filter going in. I want to get the air box on before I try to adjust idle. But this thing, it'll run, but then when it stalls, it shuts off so hard. And if you have watched 2 Vintage's channel, he had one of these that kept shearing off keys. And I feel like the way this thing shuts off so hard, so fast, that could spin that flywheel and shear that key off. I want to make sure that does not happen as much as possible. So, got to get the airbox together, get that on there, start it, try to adjust that idle. I did just put a half a tank of premium in. That tank was completely empty, so any old gas that was in there is gone. Put the grips on it. It's got new grips. Yeah, making headway. Hopefully I can get this thing out in the yard, get it started, and ride it around a little bit. And voila, guys, it is together. It starts up reliably. Yeah, we've been going hard at it all day. Me and Bam Bam. Let's see if it'll start. We hooked his jet ski to the hose, got that running good today. He's selling that, 600 bucks. So there it is, guys, running. He loves it. And there you have it, guys. Got it together. It's all cleaned up. Starts right up. Choke is on for some reason. Seems to run pretty good. Game was all right. I had this red tape here in my garage, and it just so happens to be dang near the right color. Hopefully it sticks good, but they use that tape in power plants. I spent 12 years working in a power plant, and you have to tape up plastic enclosures whenever you work on things because the air has to be clean in a lot of areas. That tape's the best tape I've ever seen in my life. It comes in yellow, red, a bunch of different colors, and I have rolls of it just laying around I took from work everywhere, all over my house. I love that tape. But the quad is together. Runs good, sounds good, looks good. I'm not going to put new tires on it. I am going to post this, you know, somewhat cheap so someone can buy it, get it for a deal, put the love into it that it needs. It needs tires, it needs, you know, a couple odds and ends here and there. I ended up welding these brackets to the fenders up in here. Fenders are nice and sturdy now. I got all the screws in the brackets up front. This is nice and tight. So, I mean, it's a quad now. I can't say that it was when we bought it. It was in dire need of some help. But with some, you know, attention and elbow grease, you can bring these things back from the dead, make them worth a lot more money. We paid 500 bucks for this. I'm gonna post it for 1,900. I see him going for $3,000 and up. I figure 1,900, a guy offers me 1,500, 1,700. I make a good amount of money. It's fair for him. He can put the money into it that it needs. You know, looking it over, it needs bushings, it needs, you know, the front end's fairly tight. It's not all, you know, I cut the hand guards off of it because those were ugly and they were creating vibrations. We did the grips. Yeah, really turned out. I'm happy with it. That battery is the one that came with my other quad in the garage. So I got a battery coming for it. That's the right size. This one won't stand up in there. So we'll get that and she'll be ready to rock. Appreciate you watching, hanging out for the journey. Stay tuned. You're gonna wanna see the pile I bought. We're gonna be getting into next. And by pile, I mean pile of parts. Hopefully it runs. We'll see what we can do. Thanks for watching. Peace.